going on, chat, man? We are back, and today we are reacting to 1998. Michael Jordan was at his most ruthless, man. You know, this was highly anticipated and highly recommended. As you guys know, we've reacted to 1991 and 1993 Jordan, and I'm not gonna lie, both of those was like, he was more at an underdog moment on both of those eras, bro, and it was actually insane to me. And today we're going into the 1998 Jordan, and I feel like he was another underdog because he was very old during this time frame, and I learned that because of my Jordan journey that you guys genuinely put me on, man. And I can't thank you guys any more than that because I learned so much about the greatest of all time, and I was brainwashed, bro. I used to think LeBron was the GOAT. But, you know, with that being said, enough with the chit chat. Let's get straight into the video. And if you guys are new to my channel, you like classic/old NBA content, man, you know, hit the subscribe button, man, and join the crew. But with that being said, let's go.
Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship. The Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I have a genuine question for y'all. Like, how did you guys feel when Jordan won his first championship? Because at that time frame, Jordan was like literally like one of the best in the league, or probably the best in the league, and he didn't have a championship or a ring till he won, bro. So like, how did y'all feel about that, bro?
Have won the NBA championship for the second straight season. Well, Pippen got the snap. Here's Paxson to three. Yes, it's all over. The Chicago Bulls have won 3 straight NBA championships. The Chicago Bulls have won NBA championship. Make it 4 seconds remaining in regulation. The inbound.
Bro, Scotty's clutch for that steal right there.
What did the 5th one mean to you, Michael?
An opportunity to go for the 6th one, I hope. We ready to take on next, no matter how you look at it. And as long as we can continue to win, we should have an.
Bro, did you guys all think that Jordan was really going to win his 6th1 that year too? Because he did beat Utah the year prior. So did y'all think like, yeah, he about to get 6, 7? Like, let me know.
Opportunity to defend what we have.
June 14th, 1998. The score is 87-86. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan had just ended an entire era with a single shot.
Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
That was it, the final statement on who was the greatest. This is the story of how Michael Jordan left no doubt who the greatest basketball player of all time was. Michael Jordan was 35 and still, arguably, the most
Bro, he was 35. Like, literally in NBA terms, that's so old. Like, no disrespect, but 35 in NBA terms is like, yo, you're getting out. Like, you're getting old. We don't, like, you're more of a role player. Like, I see Russell Westbrook at this age, and he's like a role player. No disrespect. Like, I love Russell Westbrook.
Dominant athlete in professional sports. As he led Chicago into Salt Lake City for Game 6, he was nearing the end of his career. Yet, in many ways, he was a more complete player than ever before. What his body could no longer achieve through sheer athleticism, he made up for with his unmatched knowledge of the game and of his opponents. Nothing was wasted. Every movement had purpose. There was a new quality to his game now, an iciness in the way he dissected defenses after returning from his baseball hiatus. When Jordan came back to basketball in 1995 after a year and a half away, he spent that summer in Hollywood filming Space Jam. But he demanded the producers build him a basketball court right on the...
Bro, how did he demand that and he got it? I mean, he's the best in the world at this time frame, so you could just genuinely say that he's gonna get whatever he wants to help him on the aspect of doing your movie. But bro, he asked for a basketball court and he got it, bro. Like, dang.
Warner Brothers lot, so he could train every single day. Old NBA friends who dropped by noticed something. Jordan was obsessed with refining a particular move. It was already part of his repertoire, but he was turning it into a weapon. A jumper where he'd hold the ball, fake a drive, then fall back just enough to create the perfect separation before release.
Bro, if he never called that out, I genuinely would have just thought it was just a regular pull-up. So he goes up, he does a jab step, he goes up and he holds it in the air, fades back. And, bro, this guy is a mastermind at manipulation on a basketball court.
If you've ever watched even one highlight reel of Jordan, you know the shot I'm talking about. Because of his threat to blow by defenders and his ability to rise over them, that fadeaway became virtually unguardable. More than that, it was a smart evolution, a veteran's adjustment to time's toll. It marked the beginning of a new stage in his career. What the basketball world was now seeing was something that had once been masked by his athletic gifts, a relentless, calculated hunger to dominate everything in his path. MJ's former coach, Doug Collins, said, "He wants to cut your heart out and then show it to you." Boston Globe columnist Bob...
Bro, that absolutely sounds crazy. That's like a crazy comparison if that really what he said, bro.
O'Brien called him Hannibal Lecter. And when a reporter asked Bulls center Luke Longley for one word to describe Jordan, Longley didn't hesitate. Predator.
Oof.
By this point, the Bulls had played a lot of basketball across their 5 championship runs, and it showed. Everyone felt the wear except Jordan, who had missed only 6 games in total. Steve Kerr and Luke Longley battled knee injuries.
Wait, during his finals run, or are you talking about one season, or are you talking about like 6 games, bro?
Scottie Pippen sat out the first 35 games recovering from foot surgery. But here's the thing. The reason the 97-98 season became the Bulls' last dance wasn't because Jordan was slowing down or the roster was falling apart. The team was being torn from within. Before the season even started, General Manager Jerry Krause lit the fuse, saying, "Players and coaches don't win championships. Organizations win championships." He later claimed the quote was taken out of context.
What does that mean? Don't tell me this is the reason to why the Bulls like stopped after 3-peating, because they could have went on a 5-peat, bro. Like, are you serious? So did he just end up getting selfish or something during their finals run that they're so good at the time frame that, like, how do you win a championship and then during the offseason you're having problems? Like, you guys just won a championship. This should be a best time. Or they're just winning so much to the point that they don't even think about it that much.
That he meant.
But there was a misquote. What I said was that players and coaches alone don't win championships, that organizations do. I do sincerely believe that organizations as a whole win.
Didn't matter. The damage was done. That single line set the stage for a power struggle between the locker room and the front office. A story chronicled in real time by the press and later immortalized in Netflix' The Last Dance. Phil Jackson and Krause were completely done with each other. Krause famously declared that the 97-98 season would be Jackson's last, even if the Bulls went 82-0.
What? Bro, why would he kick Phil Jackson off the team, bro? He's literally the reason. Did they win every championship with Phil Jackson? Because if they genuinely did, bro, like, that's like the worst thing you could do.
And won the title again. Jackson, meanwhile, had already toyed with stepping away the previous summer, having long believed no coach should stay in one place more than 7 years. But what about Jordan? He made it simple. If Phil wasn't coaching, he wasn't playing. Then there was Pippen, one of the best two-way players in the world, still stuck on a 7-year, $18 million contract that grossly undervalued him. By 97, he was furious.
Bro, so this guy had, bro, Scottie was on a bad contract. And okay, we're going to get to that, but, bro, Jordan said that he doesn't want to play with at all if Phil Jackson's not there. I respect the level of respect that he has for his coach. But also, like, yeah, that guy's just trying to ruin the team from the inside out, bro. That's weird.
He criticized management publicly while trying to overcome back problems and trade rumors. The front office never moved to fix his deal until it was too late. Pippen wanted a major payday. Rodman, at 37, was a handful. Steve Kerr and several key role players were due for new contracts. It was a storm waiting to...
They didn't listen to their second best player? Are you serious? Like, their second best player on that team. They undervalued him that much. Bro, like, how does that make sense? He's the reason to why they're winning championships as much as Jordan's winning the championships, bro. Come on, man.
That happened. You'd think, After everything this group had accomplished, Chicago's front office would find a way to keep it together for one more run, but owner Jerry Reinsdorf sided with Krause. Even if he had somehow bridged the divide between Phil and management, he wasn't interested in bringing them back the same cast. He argued that re-signing Pippen, Kerr, Rodman and Ron Harper would have been suicidal given their age, price tags and
Suicidal? Bro, they could have won at least 2 to 3 more. Bro, they could have beat the Lakers.
To decline. And here's the craziest part. The conversations about tearing it all down didn't happen after the 6th title. They began before the season even started. As Jordan recalls, the beginning of the season, it started when Jerry Krause told Phil that he could go 82-0 and he would never get a chance to come back. Knowing that I'd married myself to him, and if he wasn't going to be the coach, then obviously I wasn't going to play. So Phil started off the season saying this was the last dance, and we played it that way. We were all trying...
Whoa! This is crazy! Like, I didn't even know I didn't even know all of this, bro. The Last Dance!
To enjoy that year knowing it was coming to an end.
Whoa!
The 97-98 season was a countdown to destruction. Management wanted to rebuild, the players wanted to win, and at the center of it all...
They wanted to rebuild! And they won a championship! This is the most mind-blowing thing to me.
...was Michael Jordan, determined to go out on top. But before they could chase history one last time, the Bulls had to survive a storm. The season opened in chaos. Jordan was on a one-year deal, Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause's feud had hit its peak, and Scottie Pippen sidelined after off-season foot surgery. Without their second superstar, Chicago stumbled to a 9-7 start in November, a rough look for a team that had lost only 10 games 2 seasons earlier. But even in turmoil, they found their rhythm, ripping off a 15-4 stretch until Pippen finally returned in January. Then
Chad, do you guys think this is the Bulls' weakest year when they played together?
Came another hit. Steve Kerr fractured his collarbone and was limited to just 50 games. Still, through injuries and front office drama, the Bulls pushed forward, hitting the All-Star break with a 34-15 record. There were a few bumps when Pippen came back, but once February hit, Chicago caught fire. They lost only 2 games that month and cruised into the postseason with a 13-game win streak between March and April. They finished 62-20, first in the Central Division, first in the East, and third in the NBA in defensive rating.
How were they first when they were just losing? These guys are too good, bro.
Jordan, carrying a short-handed roster, led the league in scoring once again, 28.7 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 1.7 steals per game, earning first-team All-NBA, first-team All-Defense, and his 5th and final MVP award. While the front office plotted their exit strategy, Jordan plotted wins. Even without key players, the Bulls clawed their way through the season. And when they rounded into form, Chicago reminded the league who they were.
Bro, this guy, bro, he still
Michael
managed
Jordan,
to
always...
win. He still managed to win when it was the hardest time. Like, this guy's focus is absolutely insane, bro.
Took his game to another level once the playoffs began. The Bulls stormed through the first round, sweeping the New Jersey Nets in 3 games. Jordan averaged 36.3 points per game, setting the tone early. In the second round, Chicago handled the Charlotte Hornets in 5 games, Jordan putting up 29.6 points a night. Then came Indiana, the Eastern Conference Finals, 7 games of pure tension. The Pacers weren't the most talented team on paper, but they were relentless, tough, disciplined, and fearless. By Game 7, the series was hanging by a thread. The game was tied at 79 with just 5 minutes to play. But when the pressure rose, Chicago's championship DNA took over. Pippen's late layup gave the Bulls 87-83 lead with under 2 minutes left, and the defense slammed the door shut. Indiana never scored again. Jordan averaged 31.7 points per game in the series.
Notice how this guy averages 30 points every time the playoffs start. It's kind of crazy to me, honestly.
And sealed the Bulls' trip to a 3rd straight finals with a 28-point, 9-rebound, 8-assist masterpiece in Game 7. And waiting for him on the biggest stage were the Utah Jazz.
Okay, I'm excited, man.
Utah
Find a
came into the
masterpiece.
finals rested. 9 full days off after sweeping the Lakers, while the Bulls were bruised and battle-tested from that 7-game war with Indiana. Dennis
9 games off. The Utah Jazz had 9 games off on the Bulls. They would take, bro. This keeps just showing me how much of like inspirational this guy Jordan really is.
Rodman was dealing with a thumb injury. Critics said Chicago looked old, vulnerable, maybe even finished. But Jordan wasn't buying any of it. In fact, he wanted Utah. He'd wanted them all season. After the 1997 finals, too many people said the Jazz would have won if they'd had home court advantage. Jordan wanted to prove he could beat them anywhere, even in Salt Lake City. And he wanted to remind the world that while Karl Malone was great, there was still a difference between great and the greatest. The Jazz were the model of discipline. They didn't beat themselves. At the Delta Center, one of the loudest arenas in basketball, even a close game could feel suffocating for an opponent. They just embarrassed the young Lakers, Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Van Exel and all, sweeping them in 4 games. Van Exel summed it up perfectly. Playing them is like the street ball team against a team. Our guys always want to do the fancy, behind-the-back dribbles, the spectacular plays and the dunks, while the Jazz are a bunch of guys doing pick and rolls and the little things. They don't get caught up in the officiating. They don't get down on each other. They don't complain. They stand as a
So they just play like a strictly a passing first, you know, get to your point, get to your role, play your role team. Okay.
team and stay focused. Utah was smart, well coached and steady. A machine built on precision, but that precision was also their weakness. The Bulls coaching staff believed that against great defenses, predictability could become a trap. When the Jazz's system broke down, they didn't have much creativity to fall back on. That was the difference between Karl Malone and Michael Jordan. Both could carry their teams, both had evolved into all-time greats, but Jordan had something Malone didn't: instinct, creativity, and the ability to create something out of nothing when the play broke down. He could manufacture points when there were none to be had. Game 1 in Salt Lake City went exactly how you'd expect. Utah fed off that Delta Center crowd.
Is the Utah Jazz crowd like absolutely loud though? It's just intimidating. It's just gonna scare us if we played. Like if I'm in this court, right, and I'm about to play, is it scary? Is there playoff finals fever crazy?
Grabbed an 88-85 win. Malone and Stockton executed their system perfectly, and the Jazz had their home court advantage back. Chicago wasn't rattled. They'd been here before. Game 2, still in Utah, the Bulls flipped the script. Jordan poured in 37 points, and Chicago evened the series 93-88, stealing back home court and headed to the United Center with all the momentum. Then came Game 3. What happened that night in Chicago was borderline disrespectful. A 96-54 demolition that stands as the largest blowout in NBA Finals history. 42 points. The Jazz couldn't buy a basket, and Chicago's defense was suffocating. It was a statement. This dynasty wasn't going anywhere without a fight. Game 4 was closer, but the result was the same. Bulls 86, Jazz 82. Chicago was now up 3-1, 1 win away from banner number 6. But Utah wasn't done yet. Back home for Game 5, with their season on the line, the Jazz gutted out an 83-81 win in a defensive grind. Jordan had 28, but it wasn't enough. The Jazz forced Game 6, keeping their championship dreams alive for at least one more night. What happened in Game 6 was pure Michael Jordan. The game started poorly for Chicago. Utah jumped out to a 10-point lead in the first quarter, with Malone dominating down low. The Jazz wanted to...
How tall was Malone, chat? Because he seems like a big point forward that can really do a lot on the court.
Establish themselves physically early, and it was working. But Jordan kept his team close, scoring 14 in the opening quarter alone, picking apart Utah's defense, drawing fouls, and making sure the game didn't get away from them. By the end of the first, it was 26-20 Jazz. The second quarter turned into a slugfest, Both teams tightened up defensively, and the pace slowed to a crawl. Utah extended their lead 42-27,
I didn't know Karl Malone had like a fade like that, though. Okay.
Chicago looked out of sync. But Jordan wouldn't let it spiral. He scored 9 more in the quarter, willing his team back into striking distance. Jordan carried the offense, pacing himself, saving energy on defense, picking his spots, conserving for the moments that mattered. By halftime, he already had 23 points, and Utah's lead was just 49-45. Not nearly enough for comfort against a wounded team, with that man still breathing on the other side. Later,
That's crazy, bro. Like, a team is injured, wounded, all that, and they're still going crazy. How, though? I don't understand how you keep up to a very good level when you're that way.
Jordan said he never doubted what was coming. He could feel it. Utah had the chance to bury them, and didn't. They simply left the game out there for MJ to steal. And that's exactly what he planned to do. Because if Jordan had one gift beyond his talent, it was his sense of timing. He could read a game like few others, feel its pulse. A lot of players and coaches can watch film after the fact and see what they should have done. Jordan, he could sense the shift before it happened. While others played, Jordan was watching, calculating, always one step ahead. As the fourth quarter opened, Utah's lead sat at just 66-61, the kind of low-scoring grind that favoured Chicago. The Bulls chipped away slowly, and with under 5 minutes left, it was tied at 77. Jordan was running on fumes, missing jumpers, barely lifting off the ground. Assistant coach
Jordan was missing like that, though?
Tex Winter leaned over to Phil Jackson and suggested Jordan's legs were gone because he was short on most of his missed shots. So during a timeout, Jackson gave it to him straight. Stop settling, drive it. And then, it was Michael Jordan time. Karl Malone hit a mid-range jumper on an assist from Stockton to push Utah ahead 83-79. But Jordan answered. A drive, a foul from Brian Russell, 2 clutch free throws, 83-81. Moments later, he attacked again, drew contact from Stockton, and hit 2 more
He's a smart man, bro. Okay. I'm seeing what you about to do. Okay.
freebies to tie the game at 83. With under a minute left, Stockton brought the ball up and fed Malone on the block. Chicago sent the double. Malone fired a perfect cross-court pass. Stockton caught, rose, and buried a deep 3. Utah 86, Chicago 83, with 41.9 seconds left. The Delta Center erupted. The Jazz fans could taste it. One more stop, and the dynasty was dead. Chicago...
They really... Okay, as a Utah fan, how did you guys feel at this exact moment? Were you guys super happy? Were you guys confident you guys were going to win? Were you guys scared that Jordan was about to get the ball and do something crazy? Like, let me know down below, man. Because this is a crazy moment to actually witness if you actually watch the game.
Called timeout. And what happened next will become one of the most replayed sequences in basketball history.
The last shot.
During the timeout, Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan discussed the next offensive possession. Jackson reminded him that his legs were gone, that fatigue was flattening his jump shot. The Zen Master offered one last piece of guidance. If you have to go for the jumper, you've got to follow through better, Jackson said. You haven't been following through. Coming out of the timeout, the Bulls cleared one side of the floor to isolate Jordan against Brian Russell. Jordan took the inbounds pass near half court, dribbled deliberately, patient, calculating, then shifted into attack mode. Utah had no chance to double. He blew past Russell down the right side and floated the ball.
I like how he didn't waste time. You know, the NBA is so much different, right? If you guys were winning by 3 points, they try to shoot a 3-pointer. And that would make everything way worse. I'm glad Jordan went to the rim and he scored that. Because now it's an easier ball game.
Ball high off the glass. A tough bucket off a big-time drive. 86-85. Utah still with the lead and 37 seconds left. Now the Jazz had their chance. One possession to seal it. Stockton calmly crossed half court, letting precious seconds melt away. Then, with about 11 left on the shot clock, he fed Malone on the block. But Jordan was already moving. He'd seen this play 1,000 times, knew exactly how Malone would hold the ball. He slipped behind the mailman like a shadow and swiped down. Perfect angle.
Jordan Jordan watches his film. Jordan knows exactly what he's doing, bro. Like, would we say this is the best steal of all time? Because he did win a championship off this steal, right, chat?
Perfect timing, no foul. Just the ball in Jordan's hands with 20 seconds left. Jordan said that he remembered how the entire arena seemed to exhale and go quiet. The noise dropped away, the play slowed down, everything sharpened, the spacing, the rotations.
Oh my god, imagine how nervous he was taking this shot at this moment though, chat. Like, imagine you had to take the last shot and it's this groundbreaking. You didn't know it was going to get replayed this much, chat.
Every heartbeat in the building. He brought the ball up himself, scanning the floor with that same eerie calm. Utah didn't send the double. Steve Kerr was in the right corner, ready if Stockton helped on MJ's drive. Kukoc spotted on the left. Rodman cut from the top of the key, dragging his man with him. That left Jordan, alone, one-on-one with Brian Russell. He let the clock tick. 15 seconds, 10, 8. Then he made his move. A quick jab right.
You know how brave you have to be to let the clock tick a little bit also? Like, bro, oh my gosh. This is crazy to me, chat. Like it's actually crazy, bro. When I'm really thinking about the shot, it's crazy.
Russell lunged. Jordan drove hard, then stopped on a dime. Russell's momentum carried him left, aided by the slightest touch from Jordan. MJ rose, smooth, balanced, perfectly square. He didn't fade this time. He didn't need to. Russell was already sliding away, helpless. A clean release. Textbook follow through.
Is this the best shot of all time? Like, look how iconic this is. Everyone's face is absolutely sad.
As his coach instructed. The ball hung in the air, a single frame of basketball immortality.
From Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead!
Swish. 87-86. Bulls. Utah had one last look. Stockton's deep three, but it clanged off the rim. Chicago had done it.
Wow.
Again. Jordan had carried them one more time. 45 points, including his team's last 8. The Bulls' coaches had been right all along. In the closing moments, there was only one player who could still create his own shot. In the 3 tight games, 2 in Salt Lake City, Jordan had outscored Malone in the 4th, averaging 13 points to Carl's 3.
Wow.
Afterward, Jazz coach Jerry Sloan said what everyone already knew. He should be remembered as the greatest player who ever played the game.
That's crazy, bro. Like, a coach gave you props like that, but also when you really want to think about it, chat, like, all their hopes and dreams literally died down as soon as he genuinely touched the ball. Like, I've never seen somebody that good at basketball in my life, bro.
6 championship seasons, this was statistically Jordan's weakest year. 28.7 points, 5.8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.7 steals, and 0.5 blocks per game. But none of that mattered.
Wow.
He'd claimed the regular season MVP, the All-Star MVP, the Finals MVP, 10th scoring title, and ended it all with a shot so iconic it belongs in a museum. Jordan gave us what every legend dreams of, walking away on top with nothing left to prove. He left no doubt who the greatest basketball player of all time was. Jordan retired for the 2nd time in his career.
From a career standpoint, I've accomplished everything I could as an individual. And right now I don't have the mental challenges that I've had in the past to proceed as a basketball player. Sure, I'm pretty sure people say, well, it's a lot of different challenges that could evolve. And you know, for me, to start something and then in the middle of the season lose interest and lose my motivation, it's unfair to the people that I'm working with and working for and to the fans. So I alleviated that opportunity by saying, you know, this is a perfect time for me to walk away from the game. And I'm at peace with that.
Was 1998 the most legendary season ever? Let me know in the comments.
Chat, we gotta talk about this. 1998 being his most weakest year, and he won all the MVPs, the scoring title, and had the most iconic shot of all time. I could say that this guy genuinely had a perfect basketball career. Like, it doesn't get better than what he actually did, bro. Like, it's kind of crazy. I'm actually still mind blown off this video, chat. But, you know, let me know down below what you guys thinking. You know, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. But, you know, with that being said, I'll catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.